Okay, let's bring that volume down a bit. And that just goes to nothing. It's just so wild how it's like the lowest volume, you can still hear it a bit. And then one click down, it's just like off. Anyway, hi, I'm Bear. I'm barely watercoloring. Oh, I always start with stretching. I should stretch before I get off mic, but whatever. Hi there. How's everybody doing? It's Thursday. It's a good day. Work is over. I'm just gonna turn that off altogether. No music. We'll sit in silence until we need it. Um, yeah, it's a good day. No real complaints. Trying to lay off of complaining about anything work related. So and everything is actually going fairly well. So no real problems today with it anyway. So I've got nothing to bitch about. Haha. Well, I mean I could bitch about plenty of things, but I won't bitch about work. Yeah. How are you doing today? Well, I like my element series that I'm working on, going through different elements and painting stuff related to it. And I was gonna do more clouds today, but while I was thinking through it today, trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I thought let's not make every single stream be a hard thinky, try to follow along with a process quite so closely because I'm gonna stress myself out. And this is meant to not stress me out. I need to learn, don't get me wrong, and I will be going back to it probably Monday. Um, but just to have some things to break it up, right? And I have the most fun doing random abstract stuff where I can just throw things on paper and I don't have to think so hard about it. Because the more I think about things, the more I beat myself up about the quality of it at the end of it. When it's something I'm meant to, you know, try to match as much as I can. And I know I shouldn't think that way. I'm trying to get better about it. Goddess already gave me a tongue lashing about it or a fingertip. No, she typed it out. I don't know, whatever. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. So I'm going to try not to do that to myself anymore. So what I'm going to do today, clearly at some point, if I get bored with my main idea, I'll just fall back to doing some sort of abstract of some kind that I like doing normally. But I had the thought while I was browsing around online earlier, I was looking through Instagram and one, I was getting tired of like I mainly joined Instagram with my painting account so that I can look at other people's art, right? And then as happens, you get distracted and you see one video about something and you look at it or you like it, and then the algorithm, the almighty algorithm, wants to give you everything but what you originally wanted. And so I spent the day going through and looking for and liking a bunch of watercolor stuff so I could try to bring it back into focus with giving me mostly that kind of thing. And it kind of worked. But in the process, it made me think, hey, I'm really having a lot of luck finding some amazing stuff people have done. And I always get ideas to do stuff when I'm looking through them, but then I tend to forget them by the time I'm ready to be here to do stuff. So I thought maybe today, what I'll do is I'll pull up Instagram on my browser and we'll go through and just look at a couple things. And as we find something, or as I find something that really interests me and I want to play with it and try to see if I can reproduce even a piece of it, I'll do that. And then we'll move on to the next and the next and so on until I get bored with it. And then I'll probably put that away and do some random abstract of my own design that I feel like playing with. I think how I'll do it, and not just the Instagram portion, but I think the painting portion, I think I'm going to do kind of like what I did with the clouds on Monday and do like a grid pattern. I have a few different miniature paintings on one big canvas. And we'll just pick one, and that's the one that we'll do. And then we'll move on to the next when that one dries. We'll move on to the next and so on. So we've got a full page or we get bored. Whatever comes first. So let me get some paper down and then we'll start I was gonna say start Googling, but we'll start Instagramming, and we'll look through and try to find some that we'd like to try. I hope to come across one that I saw that I'd like to give a shot to. And if we don't come across it, I'll just do it. But we'll talk about it if I get there. Let's get some paper. As for the size, I think, well, what can I do? I can do 9 by 12 because that'll fit on here just fine. Or I can try to break out this giant A3 pad of arches that I got, which is too big to go on any clipboard, but I could probably do the thing where I just fold the front page back and then tape all around it and turn it into a big block. I'll probably do that just to have more room to work. And we can break in this pad. Let's do that. That's why I got it. I specifically committed to buying some additional arches paper so that I've got spare. I've got this partial a pad left of 9 by 12. It's got 4 sheets on it. And then I've got a whole new pad of this unused over there. And then I've got this whole new pad of A3 as well. So I've got a lot of spare quality paper and I can practice smaller things on that. So I should have plenty. So let me hold this back like I said, and I'll get my clipboard out of the way. Can clipboard be gone? Whoa. Nope, you come here. You don't. I knew I was going to smack the mic. Sorry about that. Put that there. Okay. Go there. All right. It's good. I guess if the music is down to nothing, I can just hide the Apple Music thing. Let me do that really quick. There we go. Less schmutz in the way. All right. And then tape. Let's grab that. Blammo. And for going down the middle of the page, let's grab some narrower tape. And while we're waiting to tape this all up, let's go ahead and get our palette activated. All right, at least to start with. All right, tape. Clearly I'm gonna need a good fit, so let's get this a little bit wider than we need. I don't recall if I've ever taped up a pad to act like a block before. I might have once. I don't remember, but I'm certainly going to give it a shot. Make sure it's over enough that I won't have issues when taping up the front of the page. Okay. I hope everybody's having a good day today. We need it. I know everybody says this, but I get so exhausted looking at news. It feels like nothing's getting better. Everything's getting weirder and more wacko crazy upside down world where nothing makes sense. And I hate that. It's just, everything is weird. You can either get up in arms about it and go full volume rage mode, or you can just go quiet and peaceful and just try to deal with it until it passes. I think that's probably where I'm at. And it'll be fine. Ultimately, everything's going to be fine. Just sucks to have to go through all the crazy that we're going through as a country, as a planet. And what's scarier, more than anything, the fact that things that go on currently in our political climate, however you want to call it, the fact that they're even allowed to happen. Nobody combats it. Apparently, there's no law or rule or guidance or anything that allows anybody at all to step in to stop any of the crazy that's going on in our world right now. People are able to literally get away with murder. and they just don't have the confidence to even recognize themselves, who they are, and how they act. And all they see is dollar signs for them and their friends, but mainly for themselves. And then someone's going to have to come along behind them and clean up the mess that they're going to be blamed for by the people that did it. I don't know. It amazes me how people are. And man, the older I get, the more the older generation when I was younger makes sense. You know what I mean? Well, that's morbid as hell. I don't want to talk about all that. Talk about happy stuff. I don't necessarily know what that is right now, but well, we'll get there. I almost don't like taping this up like this. It feels weird. Like, I feel like I would need larger tape to be able to truly tape behind. Because I feel like all I'm really doing is just kind of masking off. I mean, it is masking tape, but I'm just kind of masking off the edge, and it's not really like sticking to the stuff behind it. Because it's not big enough to wrap around to the back of the page, at the back of the block. But it'll be fine. It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to just kind of get me there. And since it's practice, I don't think it really matters. If it was like something truly like built to be quality, I think I would use something else or do a different method. Right. One last piece. Whoop. Don't get tape on my arm. Or paint. That would be weird. And I did. I already got paint on myself. Not try to clean that off so I don't make a big old mess of it. Right, lift this up. That under there. Yoink. That under there. Get the corners down. Wet this piece of paper towel. And clean my arm. Yeah, I fully leaned. Just one brief lean on that. And since I wet it down, it was like, I am ready, sir. Here is your paint. Right on your arm. You're going to paint with your lower arm, right? No. It feels like it. Okay, yeah, I'll take care of that. Now we need to go with the smaller tape. I hadn't thought about this. How am I going to do it? So am I going to go across the middle once? Am I going to go across the middle twice and have even more? That's a good question because it's such a large piece of paper. I don't know. It's really a good question because what I could do is I could just do in half and then do sections, maybe like the middle again, and then turn it vertically. And then each one will be like a horizontal canvas, or I can keep it like this and have some vertical. That's probably what I'll do. Yeah. Okay. Let's just do down the middle. We'll try to get like 8 little mini canvases out of this. So down the middle, lengthwise, down the middle, widthwise, and then cut that into half each. And then we'll have some vertical little mini canvases. Now I just have to find the edge of my tape. Oh, here it is. I had it turned the wrong way. Tape. All right. That. It's not go that far. All right. Rip. And again, because we're not going for perfection here, I'll just do the closest I visually can to halfway. You know, from an angle. I could measure it, but I just don't care to. Just for fun. Just for practice. All right. So again, let's just tamp down all our edges, especially in the corners of our tape. Make sure nothing is going to get underneath it. Whatever. Same here. Stop. And we'll put that down. And get this one down really good. You know, for a splash of color, let's do a couple different colors of tape. Let's do... I was going to go with a violet. I'll do red and green. Sure, why not? All right. Let's do our down the middle. do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Well, mostly in the middle. I think we're going to go with that. All right. Okay. Yeah, let's grab another color. Let's go red on the edge of it. There it is. Yeah, I think we can make that work. Whoop. Do 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 do. Oh, it almost feels like they're too narrow, but I think we'll be fine. We'll make it, we'll make it work with the space we've got. I will say doing it again, if I do it again on the same size paper, I'll probably do what I thought and do this into 3 sections. And then 4 across, I'll have 12 instead of 8. So that way there'll be a little bit closer to a square shape. But I think like a long vertical like portrait size will be fine. Again, it is just practice stuff, just for fun. Total abstract stuff. So maybe that when we're done and we peel all the tape off, if I do 8 of them today, they might make some large, cohesive thing at the end. We'll see. Won't know until we get there. All right, and generally the middle. That works. All right, that way, this way. And we'll get that pushed down really firmly so that we hopefully don't leak paint underneath. And then, all right, I think that's enough. I know a majority, I think, of what I'm going to be doing will be with a round brush. I don't know how I'm going to need one that large. Maybe. We'll keep it out. And smaller one. And I've got those new like needle point type brushes. I figured that would happen because these were cheaper. That once they got wet once, they wouldn't hold their shape really well, at least not until they have water on them again. But the idea, maybe, yeah, one of the other ones hold their shape better, the smaller one. But these are some new brushes I got that are of like a needle point type. I don't know necessarily what the exact verbiage might be for it, but the idea is pretty straightforward. It gives you a narrow tip to do some fine details on, but the belly of it should hold a lot of water. So you should be able to keep it wet for a longer period of time without having to go back for more. And if you want, while you've got that full, you can press down more and get yourself kind of like a leaf effect with it. I mean, you could do that with a round brush, but this would hold a little bit more and give you a bit of a finer tip all in the same brush. At least that's the goal. So we'll see how that goes. We'll try that at some point as well and put this back. Let's get some more. I was going to say water. Let's get some coffee. All right. Tape up. I'll flip it over here for now. So what I was going to do, one of the things I wanted to try, which should be really easy, isn't even probably not on Instagram right now on my list. I pre-opened it so that I have it ready to go. Let me see if it just happens to be one of the first ones. It doesn't immediately look like it, but it will be very, very easy. Oh, at least I'm seeing some stuff that I saw earlier on my phone. So at the very least, I'll see some of the things I was interested in earlier. Nope, still don't see it. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We'll probably just do it and then come back to it. All right. Well, I'm not immediately seeing the one that I was looking for, but we'll just talk about it. Glazing, basically. I wanted to look at doing the exact same color, very, very transparent, And do like a partial design, like just flood one side, probably entirely, and then do like a squiggly, like a snaky type design, and then just flood fill that whole like upper or lower section, and then let it dry or make it dry with the heat gun. And then use the exact same color and go over the exact same area again, but shift it slightly so that like one side of the line starts lower and the other side of the line starts higher, so that it does basically the same transparency, but everywhere it overlaps where it was dry, it makes it just that much of a shade darker. And then you let that dry, and then you repeat, and you just keep shifting the edge of the line, so that by the time you're done, you've got like 7 or 8 or 9 layers, and just everywhere that it actually overlapped is really dark, and then everywhere that it's shifted gets gradually lighter and lighter and lighter, right? So I've seen it a lot. Usually smaller shape than this, but maybe we'll do 2 colors. That seems like a good idea. We can do one on one side, one on the other, and let them kind of overlap themselves and overlap each other a little bit at the very end. Yeah, we could probably do that. So to do that, I think I need to get a bigger thing for paint to go in, so that I'm not mixing muddy colors in my slightly abused palette over here. Hang on. I'm gonna make weird noises. I think I could probably use this guy. That should be plenty. I don't think I'm gonna overfill more than that. And it's gonna be a very, very transparent layer. So yeah, I think this should be plenty. I think they'll fill it with water, and then pick a color and load it with a little bit of color on in 2 of them, and mix it up thoroughly. And then we can go to it and then glaze, go to it and then glaze, and then dry it. So I think for this one, I will use the larger round brush, so I can get the best surface area without going nuts with it. And then we just have to pick colors. So let me get some water in there first. I've thankfully kept out my little pipette. So I'm just going to grab some, I'm going to use my drain, my rinse water, because it's still perfectly clean. And just fill a little bit more. Not. And this is going to be wet on dry. That way it doesn't bloom or anything like that. Right? I have these very full because we're going to need a lot, and it needs to be consistently the same color throughout until we're done with it. So now the hard part, colors. Well, how about this? How about we take a look at my swatch of this palette, and let's figure out some colors that would go well. I'm going to do 2. I can do one on the upper portion of this and one on the lower portion. And then eventually they might meet in some fashion in the middle. We'll figure out as we go. But what might those colors be? You could do opposing colors like green versus like indigo or violet. Sorry. This turquoise green is really pretty. We might use turquoise green. I don't often get to use it. So turquoise green is a really nice option. And I also don't really use yellow all that much. I do sometimes, but I don't use it. Well, to be fair, I don't use it properly. I tend to just throw it in Nebula, and then anything other than that, I almost don't use it. I should. I really need to get to mixing colors more. So maybe we'll do some practice colors and make a blend and make that work. Or maybe we'll do that in a minute. Maybe we start pure for this first one, and then we start doing mixes. Yeah, how about that? How about we do the turquoise green, because it's a nice blue-green color, and we pick a reddish color. I'm thinking maybe this primary red magenta One, because it's a really pretty contrasted color to that, and I've got plenty of it over here already in the palette. It might look a tiny bit Christmassy in a way, but it's not really green. It's a blue-green turquoise, but I think those are two really good colors. So why don't we do that? Let's oh, I set it down. Oh, here it is. Let me grab some water, some Wawa. Let's go ahead and pick up. We don't even want this to be really thick. We just want to get a decent amount of color on this first pull, probably. And then color the clean water that's in our well right here. And it's going to be fairly thin. And we can practice it. Let me set it down on a paper towel here. And let me get a blank sheet of paper that we can test that color on. And again, a beautiful purpose for this bulk 5x7 paper. It's very thin. It's not great for doing anything worthwhile on that you want to keep, but boy, is it great for testing. All right, so we've got ourselves a nice thin piece of paper. We've got our brush. Let's try it at this color level and see if it's got any shade to it at all. It does. It's got a very light blush kind of color to it. And I kind of think that's perfect from what I've seen. I think you kind of want to keep it pale because every time you do a layer on top of it, it's going to darken it and then darken it and then darken it. And with like 11 passes or glazing of the same faint color, I think it's probably going to get fairly dark. At least that's what I hope. Maybe we can practice with it and we can dry this and do like maybe 2 quick passes on it. Mhm. I think I still have some in my brush, but I'll grab a tiny bit more just in case. All right, and I'm gonna not do over there, but I'm going to do just one pass over the middle. All right, and then let's let that dry. Hi, goddess. Welcome in. Working on a bunch of random BS. I'm going to be going to Instagram. Earlier today, I was looking at Instagram, specifically looking at watercolor videos and images that people have made, just to get ideas. And it made me realize that in itself was an idea. So aside from the one that I'm working on now that I saw earlier and can't find, we're going to go through Instagram, which I have in a tab that I'm not showing on screen right now, to look at other people's stuff. And we're just going to browse until I find something that I like, that I'm interested in reproducing really quick. And we'll put it in one of these rectangles. And then when we finish with that one, we'll move on to the next one that we like. And we'll just kind of fill one up. Just random BS. It's the truth. It is what it is. The first one I'm working on is one that I've seen where you take a very thinly colored well of pigment and you paint over what you've already done after it dries so that it's a tiny bit darker, right? And I'm doing a practice sheet right here, which I'm already getting pretty happy with. Okay. Okay. And one more, and then we'll probably end the sample with that. And what the hell, one more, because this sample is going nice and quick. Okay. Let's try this, guys. But yeah, this kind of shows the idea. Let me zoom in. So yeah, you see what I mean? Where you start with one pass, and it's very thin, like in the top left corner here, and you let it dry or make it dry, and then you do another pass over most of the area, but not all of it. And you see it goes one shade richer or darker, and then again and again and again. And if we do like maybe 10 to 12 of these, it might get closer to what the color actually looks like. Maybe not fully dark, but we might get somewhere in the middle, right? And we're going to do two colors. I'm doing this one, which is my primary red magenta, and then I'm going to do my turquoise green because I think those two colors would contrast really nicely. And I'm going to do like probably the primary red magenta in like a big blob shape on the top area with like a wavy line, and the turquoise down below. And we'll let that dry, or we'll dry it. And then we'll do a bunch more passes of each. And then maybe some of them will overlap each other, but they'll definitely be overlapping itself. So we can have some pretty little effects going on. So we'll see how that goes. So I think we're good with that one. Let's go ahead and mix up some of the turquoise green. All right, and that is this one. It's a bit of a darker color, so it might not take as much. Let's see how this goes. That's kind of faint, but I know that's kind of the idea. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I think that's actually going to be plenty. Let's dry it and do a couple of passes on it and see what that looks like. I think that's a good call, Desert. I think doing layers like this is really good for clouds too. That makes complete sense. I totally see that. Especially well, of course I have it way over there, but the one that I did earlier in the week, the big one, where it starts off with a bunch of fainter colors for the base structure of the clouds, and then you start adding faint, totally different tacks, different colors on top of it before you start doing some of the richer, like undercloud darkness to it. So I see that. Let's do another. It's so funny. The two colors in the well look like melted popsicles, which is kind of neat. Let's try it. Start to curl this cheap paper. Let's grab one more. Yep, I think this is going to work fine. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Let's rinse this off and move stuff out of the way, and we'll get started. Yeah, I think that'll work fine. Just 3 layers, and it's got 3 semi-distinct layers. We'll try to do better about keeping our lines clean when we lay over the top of it, because we want to kind of see those lines in the end like we did on this one. So I'll try to do a little better. All right, let's give it a whirl. Practice sheet, go over there. You get this out of the way. Yep, there we go. Contorting like I'm in a clown car, hence the music. Okay, I'm zooming in a little bit too much. Zoom out. Uh, uh, how's the music doing? Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. You know, the splendor. Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. You're weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more. I'm fine. I mean, I'm a supernatural cry. I know. Actually, God, I don't think we watched like the last seasons of it. We're definitely behind. I realize this looks very similar to like Pepsi Cola. All right, let's dry this off. What? Now I just need to remember what I did so that I can keep the same pattern going. Wait, I don't know what this is. Stop. You're playing what you want. All right. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. All right. I think we're going to do the same direction. So the last one, I went higher on this side and lower on this side. So I'm going to do the same on the blue side. Okay. Uh, uh, Elliot? Dude's singing voice is similar to mine. I don't know if it's a compliment or not. It is. I appreciate it. Uh, this guy is Dan Abidan. He's half of the YouTube show Gang Grumps, but he's also in a multitude of bands as lead singer. And this is one of them. Here he's singing with I think they're the Super Guitar Bros. I don't remember the name. Yes, Super Guitar Bros, who are also on YouTube and other places doing amazing guitar acoustic duos. So yeah, turn them up just a touch. Let's hit another layer. Okay. It's not Thailand. Okay. Nice. Oh, I think that was me. There we go. Yeah. I was like, why is it not showing Apple Music in the corner? It's because I minimized it. I shouldn't minimize it. It makes it where you can't see it. All right. Let's do another layer. We're just going to be doing this for a minute. Layer, layer, dry, layer, layer, dry. Whoop, that's, well, we're just going to use it. Right. Bring chat forward so I can see what you guys are saying, if anything. All right. Let's try this. I'm curious right now. Burning on, burning right now. for you. All right. Well, that's interesting. So far, what I've learned is I didn't get the turquoise dark enough. All these gold goodies, I know, right? These guys, this version of the band, like these two groups coming together, their purpose is just to cover older songs. So they do a really good job of it. Oh, I guess that's slightly close enough where you can see it. Um, I'll just pick it up. The blue, it wasn't rich enough. So the lines are a little harder to see in the blue, the turquoise area, but the red magenta one worked out really well. And it did some slight overlapping right here and became a violet color. So yes, next time I'll just make sure to be a little bit richer with the color, but not so rich that two layers will look the same because they're just too overdone. Geez, using the heat gun so much while it's humid just made me hotter than heck. Woof. Hot flash. Wait. All right, let's zoom back out a little bit. And then let's turn this down to nothing for a minute. Let's switch over to Instagram and let's look for something to experiment with. So, volume is there. That should be good and hopefully not deafening, but we'll find out when we're doing it. Let me share and let me resize it so we can see it. All right. So let's go through and see if I see anything immediately that calls out to me. I'm not going for anything overly detailed. I'm intentionally looking for something abstract that looks interesting, that I think I can do quickly. Because some of these are just obviously, I mean, who am I kidding? All of them are stunning. But I want to specifically try to do something quick. Oh, no, no, that's pretty. I do like doing trees, but I do trees sometimes too often. Um, that is a pretty one, but I don't often do flowers. And those are nice, simple flowers. I could probably do something like that and get away with it. And you know what? That would be a good excuse for using that new brush. So why not? Let's give it a shot. Shrink that down. I'll put it here since we're going to be. See, those jars were pretty too, right? Maybe we'll go back to it. Let's look at flowers. I'll try to do them in this spot here, over on the top left. All right. So we've already got ourselves a tiny bit of a pink color in this magenta, so I might use a touch of that, but I do need a violet. I might just steal from my actual violet and just put some in the middle. Yeah. All right. We get a tiny bit more water in there. Okay. And clean that off. Well, here, let's just do it's just violet. There is a touch of blue in that as well. I do have my French ultramarine here. We get just a touch of that in there so we've got some ready. Okay. Let's switch to our new brushes. So we've got the biggest one I've got is this guy. It is a size 14. Let me wet it down and you can see what the shape actually looks like on it. Or should actually look like at least. It reminds me a bit of a stinger on like a hornet or something. Sorry, I forgot I'm both zoomed in and covered up part of the screen. This guy. So I can do very fine stuff with the tip of it. And when I want to do wider things, I can push down and with the belly and get more stuff. So this will be good for probably this whole thing. So we can give it a shot. I think based on what they did here, I'm going to have to paint petals and just make just make it with water first so that it can bloom through it in varying ways. So let's give that a shot. I'm clearly not going to do as many, I think, as they did because I'm using a much smaller space. But we can probably fake it a little bit anyway. Maybe kind of go fat. That's it. And I had to be smart about it. God, you get to a certain point and you just can't see the water anymore. Yeah, that looks pretty. Let's do that one first. Okay, so start with a violet. We'll go into the base of it first. And again, this is so hard to see. I'm going to try to do right at the core of it. And then a little bit around right in there. That almost looks pink. It's so pale. So I may have to mix in some of my blue with it to get it a little bit richer. Yeah. Okay. Let's get a little of our magenta. And it almost looks like a car. Oh, that's because I am outside the bounds of where I had pre-wet it. So we'll just all that one bit there. And then yeah, we'll come back to this and we'll hint in just a tiny bit. And give ourselves a little bit of some air gaps in there. Probably not going to be very dark, but we want it to be. I'm just using Payne's Gray for this bit. All right. Let's make another one. Going in for clean water. Let's go down here with it. Maybe a little bit that way. Oh, I'm gathering up some of the one next to it, and that's fine. What does it look like? It's not too bad. All right. Grab some our violet. Grab some more pink. Grab some blue. Pop, pop. Pop, it, pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop. Pop. So very faint. So might need to add a little more. Yeah, there we go. That's better. And let's just go right into our, excuse me, French ultramarine and just hit it strong right there. Because why the hell not? And Random flowers. Maybe do one that goes off a little bit right here. And this time, maybe we'll do this blue with a little bit of this one. Um, Clearly different shades, but I mean, you can't ever really go wrong with flowers. Let's do something else. Got some Payne's Gray, just a little, and let's add a little bit of a green to it. This might be a bit too large, but let's see. Um, oh, that's too much. Yes, this brush does not do like round brushes, or it spreads out. Or maybe I just needed to wet the whole brush down a little more. That's probably what I needed. Or the next size down, because this one's massive. It's a big boy. Yep, it's got some kind of leaves on it. Suppose, now that that's dry, what I could do is do another layer. Yeah, just hit it just to make sure. So voila. And then let's do there, there, there. Let's go with one. Just get a little bit more color in it. Because she was looking a little pale. And same thing here. Mhm. Right. Quit while you're ahead. Okay. Got ourselves some flowers. Let me dry them off. Yeah, that's cute. Yep. This came out all right. Sorry. I accept it. As someone who never does flowers, they're not bad. All right. Let's zoom out. And let's go back to Instagram. Let's see what else we can find. Close you. The jars were interesting. Oh my. Okay. So base and then add some color in. Wet on dry. For the cork. And that's wet on wet. Okay. Wet on dry again. This is now wet on dry to get hard edges on it. And then shadows. We can give this a shot. I need a pencil so I can sketch it. Certainly give it a shot. All right. All right. You have to see my terrible sketching skills. Okay. There's a little lip, then a big lip. Okay. And that starts from just behind. And then there was a larger one, or that really is kind of the whole thing right there. Oh, I kind of see. I already kind of filled it with pencil sketch. All right. Let's. Oh, I'm using the worst eraser for this. Uh, okay, close enough. And then the beginning of that needs to be slightly larger than the cork. So we're going to go down a little bit like so. For the beginning of the neck. Okay. And then we've got a rectangle that sits on top of. So we're going to, actually, that needs to go kind of straight down from the cork, not outward. Let's kind of bring that in a little bit. And then give ourselves and the rest is really just kind of creating a rectangular jar. That kind of got weirdly oblong. Again, using the wrong eraser. Using the eraser on the back of the pencil is like death because it turns it into like a terrible looking, well, it turns into that. Jesus, this just destroyed that. Wow. Let's try at least. Jeez, that just is not erasing. It's just blurring into it. Is it the pencil? Is it the eraser? Is it the paper? It's arches. I hope it's not the paper. Wow, it's just like blurred into it. Well, we're going to turn that into part of the image because that's all we've got. So let's bring that up. We're going to bring this down. Yeah. I don't know about that. I don't think it's going to help. It's already.
It takes so. That's all. That's it.
We can try it at the end and see how it goes. I have just brought over this. It's this art eraser. It's like a kind of like a clay, a putty kind of thing, and just pull out some of it and you rub it into it or with it, and then you rub it all over it. It takes up all the shavings. But we'll try that in a minute. I don't think it's going to really help this though. We'll see. I might be pleasantly surprised. Who knows? And if not, it's just going to be part of it. Let me grab a tiny speck. Wow, it comes off like poster tacking. I probably need more of it than that, but I don't want to go too nuts with it. Okay, well, we're just going to fake it for the rest of this, I think. That one's going to be kind of meh. All right. Let's go with a small round brush. And probably my next one up from that would be a script brush. I must already have my round brush out, and I do. It's over here, unused. That's probably the one I'm going to use for a lot of this. All right. Let's start with some, what is this? I always forget the name of it. Rottenberg? Yellow ochre. I was way off. Okay. I have to color the top of this. Let's hire a kind of light yellowish color. And the bottom part of the corfish area. Okay. Might be a little dark, but we're going to go with it. And we need a very, very faint glass color. It doesn't show it, but it's definitely there in that first one. So let's get ourselves a color. I think I'm kind of happy with this one that's here, the turquoise. Got a hair sticking out from that. All right. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so let's try that. And then let's pick some colors on the cork. That's what she said. Let's try that. Let's use our smallest round brush. What is this? It says two. We're going to go even darker. We're just going to create some dots, it looks like, for the cork design. And that's on the whole cork, top and sides. Oh, I just made a bird. So let's try to just put some random dots all over. Yeah. And then uses an even darker. I actually picked up any. Let's get some of those. That's better. Oh, see, it shows it on the side on that one. So I actually did too much up here. See if I can pull some of that back off. Nope. It's going to be on there forever? Probably. I think that works. All right. And then it is saying wet on wet. So I think I need to pre-wet the areas that want the water on it, or the darker blue, and then let it blend on its own. So I've got to wet just this part. And then there's like an arch right here. Okay. And then along the side, and then there's like a little Y shape up on top. Mhm. And then a little bit of scratchiness in here. Okay. A little bit under the lip or the neck. All right. And then, oh, there's some here that I didn't quite see. And maybe like we do just an outline as a draw. It's a very weirdly shaped jar, but we're going with it. It's a thing. Okay, then. Definitely need more practice on that because I didn't get the shapes on that right at all. But it's like a weird oblong jar with like the cork on one side. Excuse me. I asked pulling up from the because it wasn't taped down thoroughly. I don't know if you even noticed that. So cute. Let's try to get some of the pencil and eraser gunk. Squeeze back in there, you. We're going with it. And let's put the pencil on. We may end up sketching more, but we'll see. And let me get nice finished. That's like the only thing that's really drawn in that it doesn't say is the top of the cork, because that circle does kind of disappear. So let's. It's some kind of jar. All right. Let's see what else we got. Whoa. Don't knock over the coffee. Drink the coffee. Oh, yeah, right. Water drops? I'm not ready for that kind of skill yet. Oh, they're literally doing water drops? Oh, and then coloring them? Oh, we could do that. And then it just dries like puddles. We can give that a shot. Let me shrink this down some. We can probably do that. Let's fill this up with clean water. I never just put water drops on the paper before. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to do this quick before the water soaks in. All right, let's hit this quick before it all runs out. Violet. More violet. Pin the red. One left. Come on already, get on the freaking brush. All right, we're not doing any more of that one. Orange. Mhm. All right, let's hit a green. Okay. Let's hit green gold. Turquoise. Let's do an ultramarine. My favorite, indigo. And, um, dragon's blood. All right. All right, let's do a couple of mixtures. Let's do some of our violet. And maybe we do some of our ultramarine and just make it a really dark violet color. And hello, green. Uh, hell, let's go red. Okay, so some kind of funky purplish gray color. Mainly like a really dark purple, it looks like. I haven't used this green. Haven't used this yellow. It's got some orange in it. That'll be fine. Just turns it into a sunny yellow color. Interesting, right? Let's let that sit for a bit. Let's look at something else while we let that dry. Oh, no. No, we're taking a break from clouds today. That's pretty. That seems fairly simple. We're already in this corner. Well, no, I know how I am. I'm not going to start from the corner that I'm on. I need to go back to the left. So we're going over here with that. I have no idea what music is playing. Let me find something else. Oh yeah, I have no idea. Recently added. Did that last time. Oh yeah, we can do this one. It's been a while since you listened to some Space Rhapsody from the Star Trek. All right. Let's try something like this. It's gonna be a little harder. Let's make some room. And we're gonna put it over here. And let's just wing it, right? Right. And let's do kind of like they did. We'll start with a yellowish closer to the sun. The intermix chamber and containment field are stable. I'll get to the work or an assess its state when I'm able. Ology is the most confounding thing I appear to be sewing. So unusual, so peculiar. It's just a daily, mundane. A headache, a splinter, a tickle sprain. It's happening again. Why are we singing? Apologies, the most confounding thing. We appear to be singing. Most unusual, so peculiar. Or take us as at the hell. The pilot seat is my rep. We're in a field surrounded. Still flight system steady. Impulse engines ready. At the console systems initializing. Life support robust, now finalizing. Check inertial dampers and see if they're hampered. All is okay. It appears that all is okay. Security detects no threats. Well, to a personal overhaul, no decks unchecked. Critical functions are steady. Phaser banks to protect shields all at the ready. The most infuriating appear to be seen. Apologies. No system stable. All systems stable. And why are we singing? Take some advice from your senior number one. This I assure tried and true. The littlest things can mean everything when it comes to them and you. And I tell your crew, we're singing again, and it makes me confess things I'd never express. Truth be told, in a parallel world, I could see myself upon the stage. Dreamers and night, and to everyone's delight. Hail them upon our renditions, Gilbert and Sullivan. That's my new position to a higher position. I do well to progress my truth. I'm the new question and I've teamed with Ramadan. I'm moving higher. That's one little thing. I can read everything with me. Nothing to play with. Connect to your crew. Hear them question it. Let's tame it. Relevant. Doubts and frontier on the spin. These play and time just they read everything. Connect to your crew. And connect to will to. See like never, we never united. Feel when you the streets. Sympathy's not substantial. Even. Yeah, much I let me. Nothing you can imagine. Yeah, it's gonna be my life. Happy like that, man. Be time to things like this. And I go away. You cry, you turn to the and telling you doing you, you, Not I want to feel about a canceled vacation. Upon the tour, I appear to be rhyming and singing. I know you don't. I'm not done yet. Yes, you are mysterious. You always run away. And to yourself, be your own best friend and confidant. One will protect you when things go wrong. Secrets you keep safe inside. When it means come like I know. When can I can't not me I say you know and pay comes keep a secret. Through it and I and time better than you feel. You found that you reveal your collection inside you. Chance to guide you. You grant you can to smile. You Those moves really changes everything. A distant dream becoming real. I convinced myself that wasn't happening. Now I'm surprised how good it feels. I worked so hard for this, and now the cast finds me as one of their own. And future. The possibilities are endless already. And every second of the joy. Right. Obscura. Freely observe me, I can do the calculus. Yes. All right. Yes. What else we got? I've done waves. Not today, but I've done waves. Ooh. Oh, I just want to kind of see the end result. Oh, that's pencil. Watercolor pencil. Ah, I can probably do the same thing just with paint. The rays etched in my mind, mom and dad. Cool big brother, I would idolize. To the four of us, it blew away. Okay. Calamity, now so young and I was. In shards of light, none of them will survive. At my best on a company. I'm not dependent and keep us connected. Change my life. And no matter to be on that. Continent. And I'm to unconvinced. And I'm not. I raised me when I did. I will lie to keep us connected. I cannot find time to first. All I'm silent. Shawless of unity. It's what I'm meant to do. And there's I'm just singing. I talk to you and then. Yeah. You do, do, do. And I'm singing and singing. Thank you. We got your promise. One of these days we'll repay you, we'll slay you. At the end of our McLean. Make your blood scream. Our crime directed. Who can say? All I say is live through space and through time. You unbreakable. You are done.
Okay.
I have no idea what this is. Choir and crickets. Oh, it's quite literally what it says it is. It's amazing what it moves on to at random. What else do I have? Playlists. Well, that'll keep me going for a minute. All right. Let this dry and then we'll look for something else. Once upon a time, once when I was blue, I parted Spanish, I wonder to that it's not a living. Could you tell me I was so lovely I want to be? Once upon a time, I'll get free. Living with a talk with and free, please and free. Won't you fail my time? Nothing with kind of stomach. If you never go swelling goes on and I'm held and it can time the noon. I'm gonna do the wrong thing and Once upon a time, you know I love you. All right, two more to go. Uh, 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 you can try clouds again. You said pain when the words are touched with sun. Using flames. Into fun. Once when you were mine, I met the skies. You're in your someone where you. I wonder if you think about it. Once upon a time, a young life and a strange. And while I need to stream, you can't stream. Nights and white tattoo, reaching the end. Letters I've written, never needing to send. Something I've always been used. These ways before. I shall dream this. I can't say anymore. Cause I love you. So I love you. Using at people. Some hand in hand. Can't understand. And All right, what next? One last thing. Let's see here. Do, do, do. Mm. Okay, it's the same one from earlier. We're looping. Just beginning to see. Oh, fine, I'll do a tree. Doesn't matter to me. Chasing the clouds away. Looking at myself, reflections of my mind. Stress because you leave myself down. So turn this way through the fire and I'm alone. Just come with me, see the beauty in step out to the moon. It doesn't matter to me, chasing clouds away. Just one more time. Oh, entertain you again. Oh, you feel oh, entertain you again. Tonight. We was time. Oh, 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 entertain you again. Oh, you feel oh, to tell me again tonight. I can't sing that high. Only he could. So, where's my music? Was take the thing to something it's easy now. Control it and the helicopter swimming. How many times walking was banned? Please, please. Morning, feeling, morning, and last night. Smooth. It. Shadows and insane. Okay, I have had enough. Let's get everything dry. These are going to be the hardest, the little dots over here. Get all our brushes put up. Oop. All right. I think we're at the point where we can peel everything and be done. Let's get started. One success. So over here. Another good one. All right. Let's go across the middle. All right, doing good so far. Uh, As always, it takes peeling it to make it look good. So funny. Wait, there we go. We got a little bit of everything here today. We've got our glazing layers that we did. The blue didn't quite come out as good. I think it needs to be a tiny bit more intense to get some lines, but still, it's all right. The flowers, they came out all right. The jar, man, not so good, but you know, whatever it is a thing. The little water droplets took forever to get dried, but they finally got there. Looks kind of like confetti. I like it. Like a cake topping, kind of. We got our little landscape over in the corner. Our random, just abstract little squares. Another attempt at clouds, not going great. I just really got to get some cloud practice in, but we'll get there. And then a really nice kind of fall tree in the corner. Came out pretty good too. Yeah, so overall, it's just a weird, random, abstract, like cross section of Instagram. So it came out really good. I'm happy with it. And that's it for me. I've gone longer than I normally do. I went 3 hours today. Not bad, but I mean, to get all this, I think it had to take time. It helped that I started a little early too. So, all right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end there. Let me go ahead and shout out to you guys really quick. See who's here still so I can guys. Concert. She is here. All right, please check out both the Desert Dragon Lover and Goddess Whispers. Desert does amazing watercolor, way better than I do, but I will get there. Goddess does really a little bit of everything. Crochet more than anything, some watercoloring, and lots of gaming. So please check them all out. Let's go see if anybody is out there that we can raid. And then I am going to go eat and rest. Really? It's just us right now? Us. Yeah, nobody seems to be online that I want to raid right now. So I already raided OT Party recently. I think that's enough. So I don't want to overdo it and look weird. So I'm going to go ahead and head on out. Guys, have a great night. Yep, I will be back on Monday doing something. I don't know what. Maybe we're back to elements. We'll see. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Y'all have a good night. I will talk to you later on probably one of your streams. And again, have a great rest of your week. Bear out. See you later. Bye.